Thank you all for coming. My name is Lloyd Allender, and we're going to get kicked off here. This is the October 15th meeting, 2024 of St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. So appreciate you all coming. Do we have any first-time visitors here tonight? Can you see a show of hands? One? Hey, anybody? Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome, glad to have you. And so you're in a good place if you're a real estate investor, or you think you want to be a real estate investor. Good place to find out more information, and you're on a good track. I've been around coming to this group for, I hate to say, about 40 years, and I've got a lot of good, such a good experience that I'm still here. So anyway, my name is Lloyd Allender. I'm on the board of directors now. And oh yeah, did you get a flyer at the table from Gail? Oh, okay. You need to make sure Gail gets you a flyer when she comes over here for first-time visitors. Anyway, we have this meeting on the third Tuesday. We also have networking lunches on the first Monday of every month. And we had a great crowd. It was a week ago yesterday. And we even had, I'll give a shout out. Hopefully she's on our Zoom. We had a member who joined our group that lives in Massachusetts. And she came to her first live meetings. She came in to check on her properties, but she made sure she came on a first Monday so she could come to our lunch. So I'll give a shout out to Renee in Massachusetts. Hope you're online. Glad to have you. And I know we got other people, members that have joined from all over the country. But and there was a couple months ago, we had somebody from New Jersey that came to one of these. It was his first time to be to a live meeting because he had been with us on Zoom. He was in town checking on his properties and made sure he came on a third Tuesday. So glad to have you guys out there in Zoom who are on Zoom most of the time. I hope you could pop in whenever you're in town. Anyway, we also do the Friday networking. John Lee runs the Zoom networking every Friday at 11 o'clock, and that's going to continue. We have a good thing. And then on the first Friday of the month, Kathy Davis gives it a legal update on what's going on in the court systems and in Jeff City, any new legislation that affects the real estate business. Anyway, also got some announcements coming up. I don't know if you've heard, we've been talking about it, I think, for a little while. We're finally, after maybe it's been 40 years since we've raised our fee. We're finally raising it, our annual membership fee to $97 from the $75. It's still the best deal in town for a real estate group. But in order to do that, we had to take, if you've been on auto renewal like I've been on auto renewal, I don't even think about it. I get an email when it comes due. I don't even remember one month it's in January or December. But we had to turn that off because we're raising it, so you're going to have to go back in and reset up your auto renew when you're current. Because everybody, your dues is due in the month it runs out, in the month that you join. So you'll get a notice about that. So you want to go, if you got auto renew, go ahead and set up your new auto renew. And then also, so our newsletter. Another big change coming is in January, we're moving this third Tuesday meeting to a new facility. We're going to be meeting at the Lodge de Pere at, the address is 1050 De Pere Road, 1050 De Pere Road in De Pere. Zip code is 63131. It's in our newsletter. Kristen, you had it in there. We'll be announcing it, started announcing it on the Friday networking sessions too, so you don't miss out. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a great facility, and we like that it seats over 200 people, but since the pandemic, we've never been able, we used to have a situation where we would like to have a room for 200 people, but as you see tonight, we don't have 200 people, we don't even have 150 like we had in the past, so we're moving to a little more downsizing our room. And it's still a nice facility, it's closer to the highway. But it's a nice facility too. Anyway, that is in January. January 21st is the third Tuesday. So we continue to mention that. Also, okay, because we are a non-for-profit corporation. All of our board of directors are volunteer, there's no paid positions. But we do have in our bylaws that we do an election every year. And we do the nominations on the first, or for our October meeting. This is our October meeting. And I want to ask Lynn McQuarrie to come up, and she's going to make announce the nominations for our 2025 board of directors.
Good evening. I'm Lynn McQuarrie, Chair of the Nominating Committee. The Nominating Committee has the responsibility of receiving nominations, confirming the willingness of those nominees to serve, and validating the qualifications of those nominees according to the bylaws of our organization. The Board of Directors and the qualifications of those individuals that shall be elected by the members of the St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association are as follows. The office of President must be a current board member and general member for 3 years and an active real estate investor. The offices of Vice President, Treasurer, Secretary, and Membership Chairman must be a general member for 2 years and an active real estate investor. 3, the general directors must be general members for 2 years and active real estate investor. An active real estate investor is one who owns real estate, excluding their principal residence, for the purpose of rental or resale. Those individuals that have been nominated and have expressed a willingness to serve on the board for the year 2025 are as follows. For the office of President, Lloyd Allender. For the office of Vice President, Amber Gray. For the office of Secretary, Laura Jimerson. For the office of Treasurer, Jim Choik. For the Membership Chairman, Laura Lee. The 3 nominees for general directors are John Lee, Jeannie Whalen, Kristen Lumen. At this time, the nominating committee would like to call for nominations from the floor. No? Hearing no additional nominations, I will entertain a motion to close the nominations. Do we have a second? Second. It has been moved and seconded that the nominations will be closed. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Thank you.
We do have a little real estate update. We got Gail Wicker. She's a realtor, licensed realtor. She's going to give us a little update.
That's okay. I'll just read it. Hi. How is everybody? Good?
Right.
Good. Gotta get used to winter here pretty soon, aren't we? Okay, I have a little report here that covers residential real estate activity in St. Louis City and County combined, okay? So just to kind of give you a snapshot. Pending sales in residential this year are up 0.6% from last year. The median sale price is down 1.2% from last year with a median sales price of $295,000. This is residential. Closed sales excuse me, is down 14.4%. It shows 1,262 homes closed. Month supply of inventory, 1.9, down 13.6% from last year. Inventory of homes for sale, there's 2,569, and that's down 15.2% from last year. Average days on market until sale was 29 days versus 25 days in 2023. Townhomes and condos, pending sales, no change from last year. Median sales price, 222,000, which is down 1.3% from last year. Closed sales were 209, down 21.1% from last year. And months supply of inventory, 2.5, which is up 78.6% from last year. Inventory of homes for sale, 577, which is up 69.7% from last year. And average days on market until the sale, 28 days versus 32 days in 2023. So, there we have it. That's all I have.
It sounds like prices are still.
Yeah.
That one's like 1%.
Right, as of today,
Inventories still down, still going down, so that's a good thing for keeping prices where they are.
as of today, 30 to 50 is 6.5, 6.6.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, okay, we're gonna do a little haves and wants now before getting into our main speaker for the evening. And Mr. Troik has the mic, and I think Eric's got something right now. Or do you want to get? He's gonna wait. Okay. Who wants to? Who's got something real estate related? And I should give our disclaimer like Laura Lee does on our Friday meetings. Before we don't check everybody's credentials when they come in the door. So before you do business with anybody, you need to do your own due diligence and not just take somebody's word for what they say. Anyway, so anybody have anything real estate related? Either a property you want to sell, you may be looking for something, a service that you're offered to real estate investors. We'll let you give a pitch for your business if you have a service. Who wants to start us out tonight? Boy, a quiet crowd. Mr. Ron? Dr. Bruce? Okay, only one of you was going to speak up. I was hoping.
Hi, yeah, we're in private lending, and if you need the juice, call Dr. Bruce, BRUCE, 636-346-8639, or Charles Bruce, 1984 at yahoo.com.
Okay. He can't resist.
Hi, my name is Ron Nash. I also have private money available for you all. And so if you know of anybody that needs the cash, have them call the Nash. And I think Charles is giving out some free samples.
Okay, we got an attorney over here. Jim, got an attorney here, wants to give us. I think he's the only attorney in the house tonight from C. Herman.
Roger Wallach, real estate attorney. If some of you bought properties in the tax lien sales last August, if you're not sure then how to go all the way through to getting completely good title, that's something our office does. We do the quiet title lawsuit needed afterward and know how to do the notices and all that. And in general, our firm is particularly good. I leave the inexpensive evictions to like Kathy Davis and some of the other guys around town that do that. We certainly do evictions. Clients sometimes ask me to do them, and I do them. But we're not trying to compete on the bulk docket. We do sometimes those solve problems that people come to me and say, I haven't been able to find anybody who knows really how to get this tenant out. So we have dealt with some rather problematic situations and succeeded. But a lot of us, what we're really good at, our sweet spot is contracts, financing, buying subject to, buying just all the different arrangements, joint venture agreements between among contractors, sometimes owners and several contractors. I mean, we deal with all the different kinds of agreements and arrangements, how to form LLCs and, like I said, joint ventures, and sometimes you need an S corp. I mean, there's reasons why you need different things at different points in time. And so how to structure your business is probably one of our strongest points. And in general, we do all kinds of real estate law. So Roger Wallach, come ask me for a card, or I'll just say my number quickly, 314-308-2900. But I have cards on me if you want to get one from me later, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Anybody else thought of something? Okay, here we go.
Thank you, Jim.
No problem, Justin.
How is everybody tonight? Good to see most of you again. This is only my second time here, but I am a concrete contractor as well as a alcoholic slushy contractor. If you have cracks in your concrete, cracks in your joints, we have remedies for all that. We also provide knowledge and education for how to preserve your concrete. So give me a call at 314-941-7842. Thank you.
Okay,
I mean, it's only on point for me to mention this since you are a concrete guy, but I figured I might as well. I do have a property that I'm looking to sell. If anybody's interested, you can follow me or find me. I'll give you my number, but it is 2470 Ackerman Avenue. It's in 63114. It's a 3-bed, 1.5 bath, 1250 square feet. Asking price right now is about $70K. We kind of see ARV in that area about 160, but we think it's about a $50K rehab going forward right now. There is, one of the foundational walls is bowing, so it's just kind of makes sense to mention that right now. We have got quotes right now for about $9K on that, but if you're interested and find out more, I've got plenty of pictures. We've got drone footage of the roof and everything. We've got anything you want. So my name's Alex Helbig. Phone number is 636-288-1336, or you can say it to me afterwards or something.
Kind of continuing on that train, actually, if anybody's looking for a real estate agent who is also an investor, be happy to help you. I own Rivers Realty. We're based out of Maplewood, Missouri. Phone number here is 314-486-0231. My name is Jay. Feel free to stop by and pick up a card. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Jay. Anybody else? Did we miss anybody? Nope. Oh, that, okay, thank you. That's all I have to once for tonight. Move on to our main event. We are pleased tonight to have David Randolph, the founder of Short Sale Profits. I think I met David, 12 or 14 years ago. It's been a while. And I was very impressed with how he had educated himself with some of the best minds in the real estate world around the country. And took the best of what he learned from everybody and put it into a business plan that he's been practicing for the last 15 years. And kind of the key to that is doing the negotiating short sales, which is not an easy task if you don't know what you're doing. So anyway, we got David here tonight, and he is going to share some of his secrets of negotiating short sales. David Randolph.
Okay, so I've got to coordinate a lot of things here. I have to also get 15 years of short sales in. I don't know how long that Lloyd's going to give me tonight, but it might be midnight before we get finished. No? Well, 9 o'clock, okay. So, okay, yeah, well, hopefully I answer all the questions. I'll kind of move this thing around because I don't think I can stand here real still. So anyway, I am very honored to be here tonight. It was 5 years ago I spoke for this group for the first time ever. And there were 150 people in the room. at that time, and it was standing room only. And it was really fun too, because at the end of it, they all got mad at me. Okay, and do you know why they got mad at me? It's because there was nothing in the back of the room to sell. There was no table to run back to and stuff. But people then said, hey, would you teach me short sales? And so that's what started me in short sales now. There is still nothing at the back of the room, and there's no table back there or anything like that, but there's a table over there. But anyway, so I'm really honored to be here. I'm excited too, because I love talking about short sales, okay, and stuff. And so I'm gonna go through a lot of slides, and I'll probably go very quickly, and I'll probably be checking my time over there because I'm not real good with time. I could talk on one slide for an hour, so I'll try not to do that. But let's just go ahead and go through, see if I can get this to work right. Okay, try it again. Turn it to that position. Okay, well, it did work earlier. Let's try this. Okay, it's in the on position. Okay, I may have to do this manually then, the way it looks. Okay, well, we'll see what happens here with that. So basically, let's see, page up, page down. Okay, nothing seems to be responding. Yeah, I don't know if that computer's froze or maybe we can restart it or something. Oh, there we go, okay. So the computer fell asleep. I usually happens after I'm speaking, things fall asleep. So my background is engineering, so I will try to get animated and excited because I do love short sales, and I do want to say it is an honor to be here tonight because of originally speaking here. I'm excited about it because I've talked to about short sales all over the place, all over the country on podcasts, at REIA groups, and teaching people how to do short sales. And so I'm going to go through and explain to you guys about short sales and what they are. So let's go back a little bit in history. Let's go back in time and say, well, what's going on here? What's historically happening? Why are there short sales? Why are there not short sales? Some people, don't understand, that aspect to it. So if we go back, do you guys remember that, that COVID-19 thing? Do you remember that? And there was, right after COVID-19, there was a pandemic, right? And then after that, you remember there was this is terrible here. Do you guys remember PPP? Oh my gosh, right? Bad memories, okay? Well, there was a moratorium back then also. And we all remember that because we all marched in Washington, D.C. because all of our renters stopped making their payment. They didn't have to make any more payments, and we got all upset, and all of us landlords drove in a bus to D.C. and said, they gotta make their rental payments. Well, most people didn't know it, but there was also a moratorium for homeowners. They didn't have to make the payment for 18 months, and so the banks kind of got the shaft on it. Not I care about that, but nobody marched on D.C. to help them out. That did actually then finally end, in July of 2021. So after 18 months and no payments, homeowners had to make up all that money and continue making their payment. Well, I don't know about you, but most homeowners couldn't make their payment before the pandemic and before COVID. How are they going to make 18 months? So we ended up basically with a lot of people who were very far behind, and the banks began to immediately foreclose right after it was over with. Now, this 27% increase in 1 month is a little bit, tricky there because there were no foreclosures. So 27%, zero is not very many. And the point is that, what happened was the banks were released and they've been increasing their foreclosures almost every single month for the past 3 or 4 years on it. And so they've been trying to ramp that back up. Now, we've got 2 million delinquent loans in this country. 2 million people who can't make their payment. And the part that's really bad about that is there's 1.65 million a year ago. Does anybody know why it has gone up? You should go down, but why is it going up? Anybody got a good guess? Well, have you heard of this thing called inflation? Remember that? Okay, inflation. Now I'll give you the investor definition of inflation, not the PhD economic kind of thing for inflation. Inflation is where your food prices go up and your gas prices go up, and so you stop making your house payment. That's inflation, okay? So what's happened is over time, we got these delinquent people who can never make up 18 months of payments, and new people coming on that are in a foreclosure, in other words, I gotta eat, I gotta drive, so I'm gonna stop making my house payment. So that's why it's going up, okay, not down, and so that's a very bad thing in this country right now. And of course, a lot of times people say, well, Dave, they can just refinance their loan, okay? It's not a big deal, just refinance. Well, I don't know how about you, but it's a little hard to refinance a 3% loan for a 6% loan. So that option is out. The other option is, well, if you don't have a job, you can't refinance either, right? You can't get to refinancing if you're not working. So we got a lot of people that are, unemployed in this country on it, and that's actually been going up. Now, okay, so I have a quiz here. What is your definition of a short sale? So give me one sentence answer for what a short sale is. It's when what? So somebody throw something out. What's a short sale? One sentence answer. But any investor in here would say the same thing. Go ahead.
When the bank accepts a payment that is less than what they owe on the program, on a mortgage.
Very good, very good, yes. Okay, the homeowner can't sell the house for what's owed on it, okay? They want to sell it to pay off the loan, but it doesn't pay off the loan. Well, that's what most people say they are. Nah, or that sound is dead wrong. That is not the definition of a short sale. Now, I better stop here real quick because I forgot to warn you. I will be saying a lot of things tonight that totally don't make any sense to the normal person, or totally what gets some people very upset. Okay, I'll be saying things that you don't believe. So I do want to warn you right now, okay, we've got a while to go, and I will continually be doing things like this. That is the definition of a short sale. You miss one house payment. You can't do a short sale unless they have missed one. Now, there's a little bit of thing if you move more than 50 miles and get relocated, but in general, the bank won't do a short sale unless you miss one. So for me, that is my definition. Equity is irrelevant. There goes another thing I just said. People, how can he say that? The amount of equity in the house is not relevant. Roger's crunching his eyes over here, and so what's David doing here? Okay. You miss one house payment, that's a short sale, and the equity in the home is irrelevant. It doesn't matter how much is there. Let me explain that why. Let me show you why, okay? This is Black Knight. This is a data statistical company on mortgages across the country, and they did this study, okay, over 30 years, 30-year study in this country of all the foreclosures across America. They took all the homeowners who had 40% equity, 40%, they could snap their fingers and sell that house on the MLS. But yet 1/3, 30% of them went to foreclosure anyway. That's your short sale. That's the people that need help. That's the people that lost their house anyway. Why can't you step in, help them out for a lot of reasons I'll go through later, and make a ton of money doing it? That's your short sale, and that's why the equity is irrelevant, okay? Let's go ahead and move on. You're still here. That's good. Nobody got up and left. Now, would you like to know the exact schedule of which homeowners are gonna be foreclosed on and when? Wouldn't that be cool to know that? Well, we actually do. But I'm not gonna tell you, okay, since we don't have time with it. We're gonna get kicked out tonight here. But the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, has a 212-page PDF file that has the exact schedule right in it. So you can go look that up later. We know exactly what groups and types of residential loans are going to be foreclosed on and when. It's actually controlled by the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay, so, but there's no time to go through it tonight. Now, what did you guys even come here for tonight? What are you struggling with in real estate? What is the issue that you're having with buying houses and making money? Why isn't everybody in here successful at it? Somebody throw out anything. What's the biggest problem you have with buying houses you can make a profit on? Anybody just go ahead and throw it out. What's the problem? Why can't? Finding houses, okay. Finding houses with profit, right? Now, why don't they have a profit? What's the problem? Because the seller wants too much for the house when you talk to them, right? Okay, what about, a lot of people tell me wholesalers want too much money, right? Okay, they talk and they find houses, but then they want too much money. So basically, here's Carl Crane, a local guy here, right here in St. Louis. You guys know him actually, probably, some of you do. And he's a rehabber. He rehabs houses, and he was always buying his houses from wholesalers, and he really was very upset and tired of this business because he would do all this rehab, sell the home, and make like $15,000 on the house. And he'd go and look in public records and see that the wholesaler made $30,000 on the house. And he's like, man, I did all the work and you did nothing. And so he was very upset. And he found out about sales from me, and he started doing short sales. And his very first short sale, he bought it for $120,000 and he sold it for $220,000. And he didn't do anything to it. He just wholesaled it, right? Okay, and stuff. And so, let me go ahead and play his thing here, and I'll explain what he says there.
Hey, this is David Randolph, and I'm here with one of my students, Carl. He's going to tell you about his actually very first short sale attempt.
Hi, I was marketing to foreclosure people here in St. Charles County. Found a person that needed our help. With David's help, we were able to stop the foreclosure. We were able to purchase the house for around $120. ARV in the house was near $220. Just did a little bit of work on it and made a huge profit using David's marketing and short sales techniques.
Fantastic, Carl. So I said to Carl, Carl, what are you doing? You're a rehabber. Why did you sell the house? Why did you wholesale it? You've rehabbed all your life. Why did you wholesale it? He goes, Dave, I made a gross profit of $100,000, and I texted it to all my wholesaler buddies and said, up yours. I ain't buying from you ever again. And so he's been doing short sales pretty much ever since then. But yeah, he literally did it just to show the other wholesalers, I knew better than you. Okay, you only made 30 off of me. And so he wholesaled it and made a gross profit of $100,000. And I say gross because I want to be compliant with all the FTT stuff. He's got computers and paper and a lot of other, expenses in that. That's just what he bought it for and what he sold it for, okay, on public records. But anyway, so that was kind of fun, that he did that. Now, I got to do this disclaimer, okay, this legal stuff. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a real estate agent. I don't play one on TV. None of this presentation is tax advice or legal advice. This is just my interpretation, my experience over the past 14 years. So, always seek, what's that, Roger? Always seek the advice of legal counsel, okay, right? And stuff. So, this is just my experience and my interpretation. But, why should you listen to me? I'm an engineer. It's my background. I've learned from a lot of smart people. I pay smart people to teach me things, and my superpower is to take what they teach me and do it better, or to combine it. That's my superpower with it. So I do a lot of research, a lot of processes, a lot of procedures. Everything I do is a business model with it. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. multiple business income streams. With that, I've got a wife, okay, and she has her health and wellness business, and we've got other businesses. Now, sometimes it's an outgo stream, so, with my wife, but usually they're income streams that we have. But anyway, she's not here, so I can say that, No, really, I'm serious, guys. Think about it. In real estate, you can make so much money in real estate, you can fund other businesses. Seriously, you can make money in that can let you do something that's your dream. It's my wife's dream to have a health and wellness business. She bought a $5,000 magnetic resonance mat. She wants a $10,000 barometric chamber. And you just can't do that normally in health and wellness business. But real estate can fund that. So real estate can fund your retirement, can fund other businesses and stuff. And so, we're both full-time entrepreneurs. I do have an engineering degree. I retired from my corporate job in 2006 at the age of 42 and was helping my wife homeschool my kids. And there's just one slight problem, was that they graduated and went to college. And we're like, well, what do we do now? And that's when we actually got into real estate. Okay, so my wife and I became full-time real estate investors in 2010. And, I'm just a small guy. A lot of times you hear people teaching or speaking or something or part of a big syndication or a big corporation. I'm just a regular guy, okay? I rehab like 5 to 10 houses a year. But one of my claims to fame is that all my renovated houses that I've listed on the MLS for sale, $260,000 and less, they've all sold at list price or higher for 14 years. All of them. And that's because they're drop dead gorgeous. They're beautiful houses. However, I have this unfair advantage. I'm making from $50,000 to $150,000 profit on each house by doing short sales. That's my method of buying. Now, it's real easy to sell them in 7 days if you're making $150,000, right? So the 7 day really wasn't very impressive. This is what's impressive. How do you buy your houses? And that's what I've done for 15 years. If I wholesale a house, I usually make about 80 gross profit. And if I do a rehab, I make more. A lot of people say, why don't you just wholesale houses? I'm like, well, hey, 150 minus 80, there's a big difference. I still like rehabbing. And we heard our statistics for months of inventory, 1.9. Everybody should be rehabbing, in my opinion. We need houses out there for people. And so it's a great time to do that. And then what I'll show you about the banks, they don't see that end. They don't see that end. The equity doesn't matter, okay? I'm also a hard money lender. So I have over $3 million in cash in my retirement accounts, my IRAs. And I lend it out to other rehabbers all across the country. And my heart is to help new people get started, okay? I will give them all the money to buy it, all the money to fix it, all the money for the points on the loan, and all the money for the monthly interest payments. That means you need no money at all. You pay it all back when you sell the house, okay? And there's a lot of other stuff that comes with that. If you want my lending document, text LEND, LEND, to 636-685-2990. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. We're not here to talk about that. But this is who I am and why you might want to listen to me. I've been able to, build multiple businesses in real estate with it. And I lend all across the country. So I basically, in the lending program, ended up developing a half-day workshop for ARV and for a rehab because people or new rehabbers didn't know any of that. They come to me, it's like, well, what's the rehab cost, And so my wife said, hey, just give them your tools, your spreadsheets and your systems. And so I did a half-day workshop. And so I started that back in 2019 with my lending program with it. Then, this is when I became a movie star. July of 2019, right at STLREIA, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association on it. I did the short story and short sales. Wow, cool, what an interesting title.
And there are 150 people in the room. And at the end, they got all mad at me because there was nothing to sell. And so ever since then, I started teaching people how to do short sales. So I have got for some workshops. I developed a basic online education portal. Over 335 people have taken this workshop. And the thing I'm really proud about it is there's only been 6 returns, 6 people wanting their money back out of 335. That is really, really good in the quote education space. Most people, it's 20 or 30% return rate because their stuff doesn't work. To be honest with you, a lot of their stuff. My stuff does because I'm an engineer, okay? I'm not an educator, I'm an investor trying to figure out how to teach you guys. I am the founder of Short Sale Profits with a PH, and I did check my church to make sure it was okay to do that. They said, as long as you have the S on it, you're okay. If you don't put the S on it, then we're gonna burn you at the stake, something like that. I don't know what they said, but so anyway, I checked with my church. So I do have a registered trademark, and then my IP attorney said, hey, I need another pair of shoes. Okay, I think you should take out and be the founder of the David Randolph. Now there's a reason for that. DavidRandolph.com was taken. Somebody took my website, and I was heartbroken. And somebody said to me, wait a minute, aren't you the David Randolph? Yeah, GoDaddy, I'm the, give me the DavidRandolph.com. And so my IP attorney said, you need another registered trademark for it. So you need a new pair of shoes. Okay, Christmas was coming up. So that's me. Now, look, you guys are sitting here tonight, you're gonna learn about short sales. There's nothing to sell. There's no back tables, but there's nothing on the back tables. And so you're gonna learn how to do short sales. And you may go off out there and decide to do this all on your own. And if you do that, please develop a system. Please keep track of what you do. Please use checklists, procedures. Please develop this so that you can do it properly, okay? And so that's basically what I did. I'm going to show you a little bit of my system here, okay? Now, let's talk about what is it? What is a short sale? Now, I really like the you missed one house payment. That was good, and it's actually true, okay? But let's get into a little bit more details of it. And so you'll want to have pencil and paper, take notes, and feel free to take pictures of the slides if you want to. You know, you can use them for personal use on there because I may end up flying pretty fast. You know, if I run out of time, I'll kind of check every once in a while, and then they'll probably kick me off, you know, pretty soon. But I'll try to honor the time here and get finished. But let's talk about this definition a little bit more. A lot of people think it's the mortgage on the house. They think a short sale is where they owe too much on the loan. It's not true. There we go, there's another thing, it's not true. You could owe $10 on your mortgage, and it's still a short sale. What? You gotta be kidding me. Yes, because the problem is you can't sell a house unless you pay off all the debt. So any second lien positions, any judgments against the house, any state tax liens, federal tax liens, all of that total debt is what makes it into a short sale, because that homeowner can't sell it and pay that off with all those liens. So that becomes a short sale. And of course, a lot of times a normal sale of a home, you know, as you know, on the MLS, you only get about 90% of it, right? Because you got commissions and closing costs and stuff like that. So a lot of people go, well, I'll just list the home for what my loan is. Okay, well, you don't actually, you know, get that much when you close. So basically, there's a lot of debt in it. There's also, you know, usually a pending foreclosure. So what happens is that, you know, the bank has to be paid in full. And so if they don't have payments coming in, they're going to eventually, at some point in time, start the foreclosure process. And so when that happens, in Missouri, you only have 21 days in Missouri. And, you know, other states are very close to that, 30 days and stuff. And so now, you know, other states and just, you know, for Missouri, they'll actually give the homeowner 2 30-day letters. So they'll know a little bit ahead of time about what's going on with it. Now, of course, they know they're missing their payments for, you know, 6 months or a year or 2 years or whatever, but, you know, the bank will eventually foreclose, and that's kind of who I target to help those families out, okay? They're going to lose their home, if they don't make some kind of decision or take decisive action with it. Now, legally, the bank has to post this in a legal newspaper. So in all states, you have to post it in a legal newspaper for a certain number of days, the county legal newspaper. Now, this isn't the Sun-Times where the aliens land on the roof and impregnate the cat and it's not that newspaper. It's the county legal newspaper, the one where government contracts are posted, divorces, foreclosures. That's where they have to post this in there. Georgia's 30 days, Illinois, is 90 days. So every state's a little bit different number of days, but it's very short. Okay, and typically a lot of times there's deferred maintenance in the house. If you can't make your house payment, you're probably not fixing the cracked window or the leaky roof or the leak in the basement, right? So a lot of times there is deferred maintenance. Now it's interesting right now, probably 20% of foreclosures are loans in 2022 and 2023. That's bad. That's really sad. How can you buy a house a year and a half ago and stop making your payments? Okay, and stuff. And so there's a bunch more statistics. I'm not going to get into too much of that with it, but basically, whether you're in a judicial state or non-judicial state, it's irrelevant. So, a lot of people, think, well, it's judicial, non-judicial. The process of the paperwork with the bank is the same. What's different is the marketing. So in other words, how soon do you send your marketing letters out, and what's the duration between your letters to the homeowner? That's all that changes between judicial and non-judicial. So in Illinois, Florida, Missouri, Texas, all the different kind of states, what I'm teaching you tonight about short sales is the same, okay? The documents you give to the bank, the negotiations you do with the bank, the response you get back from the bank, doesn't matter whether you're in judicial or non-judicial state. So I want to clear that up before I go too far here, on these slides. Now, most buyers, they can't get a traditional loan, okay? They've got 21 days. What traditional buyers do you know can close in 21 days that have a loan from the bank, okay? And so the lender, the bank, wants a cash as is offer. So write that one down, cash. So if you're going to do short sales, you need to turn your offer in cash as is, okay? The banks don't like a traditional loan because if they go through all this approval process and they approve the short sale and the buyer doesn't qualify for their loan, they don't like that. They don't want that. They want to see you with a cash as is offer. Now, before you go, well, I'm out of here, I don't have any cash, I do, don't forget that, so I can lend it to you. But the point is, you don't have to have your own cash. You can do a short sale. So the offer says cash as is, but in all contracts, in all cities, in all states, you can come to closing with a loan, okay? A hard money loan, preferably, because they can close much quicker than a bank. But you could literally, come to closing with a bank loan, if you could get it closed in time. But you don't have to use your own money, but you want to say cash as is on it. So write that down. The lender, it's kind of interesting, the lender is looking at the net to the bank. So a lot of people think, well, let's have the bank do an appraisal, see what the value of the house is, and let's try and find a buyer for the appraisal. That's dead wrong. Absolutely wrong. Right? It's dead wrong. It's a big myth. It's a mistake that real estate agents make, okay? The bank has a net value on the HUD. They're looking at what is the net to them, not the sales price, okay? I'll give you one number here, write this down. FHA will accept 88% of the appraisal value. So don't offer the appraisal, they'll take 88%. And if you wait 30 days, they'll take 86%. And if you wait another 30 days, they'll take 84% of the appraised value. So don't offer, what it appraises at, you can offer less. Now, every lender has a different percentage, and we don't have time tonight to go through all those, but just to give you an idea of the range, a conventional lender, so a conventional lender is not FHA, not Fannie Mae, not Freddie Mac, not one of those others, okay, it's a bank loan, but it's called conventional, they'll take 45 to 55% of the appraised value. Holy cow, you know, yes, all the time, okay? Now, in a short sale, the banks are used to seeing one of two things. The listing agent doing the processing, the paperwork, the negotiation, all the short sale stuff that we're gonna go through pretty soon. Either that listing agent or the smart listing agent say, oh my God, I don't wanna do this. And so they hire or they use a short sale processor. Okay, so what I'm teaching you tonight is you are that processor. So here's another thing, people are gonna go, oh my gosh, you guys are doing good, no one's left yet, but I'm gonna say this. What I teach you on a short sale, you are the buyer and you are the negotiator with the bank. This is not a short sale on the MLS. Run away from those. Don't touch those. This is the homeowner reaching out to you for you to help them and then negotiate directly with the bank. This is not a listed house on the MLS. You don't want to do one on the MLS because most real estate agents have messed it up. They've listed it for the loan value, okay? And so basically, I'm going to be teaching you to be the buyer and the negotiator. Now, you might say, Dave, that's illegal. See, our attorney already left the room, okay? Oh no, he's over there. It's like, oh my, what is this guy saying? This guy is crazy. No, look, it's not illegal. Alarm bells don't go off, sirens don't go off, they don't come arrest you if you're the buyer and the negotiator. You know what happens? Let's say you walked into the bank, knocked on the president's office, and said, hey, you know that house over there? I am the buyer and I am the negotiator. And you just told the bank president, and it's like, you know what the bank president does? He cuts the commission of the realtor to zero. That's it. That's all he does. I don't know why. I guess they don't like real estate agents, but they cut the commission to zero. So all you do is just make sure you take care of your real estate agent later. Now, I talked about not on the MLS. That's correct. You're not finding and buying houses on the MLS, but when you negotiate a short sale, you're going to have a realtor on your team, and I'll explain that later. Okay, so you do have a real estate agent on your team, but they don't do anything. Literally, don't. You do everything. You fill out all the paperwork. But anyway, the point is, you can be the buyer and the negotiator, and they just cut the commission to zero. You don't go to jail with it, so it's not a big deal. Now, it is very important for all parties involved to be unrelated on paper. Okay? Now, what does that mean? Unrelated on paper. So let's try this. How many people in here have an LLC? Oh my gosh, holy cow. Okay, now don't answer this next question, okay? Because you're gonna be in trouble. So don't answer this one out loud. So you all have LLCs, and I'm sure you all have LLC checkbooks, for your account, right? Hopefully you're not commingling your money, right? So you got an LLC, and this LLC's got its own checkbook, okay? Now, let me ask you the next question, and don't say it out loud, okay? How do you sign your name on that check? How do you sign it? Do you go John Smith? Do you go John Smith, manager? I hope you do the second one, because if you did the first one, you just embezzled. You embezzled against your own company. Who are you on paper? For example, David Randolph, manager of my rehabbing LLC. David Randolph, president of my C corporation. That comma changes who you are, okay? And so in a short sale, it's important for all the parties, okay, involved to be unrelated on paper, okay? And there's a lot to unpack on that. We don't have time to go through that tonight, okay? We could be on that for an hour. Now, the interesting thing is that the banks do a broker price opinion. And by the way, guys, if you text intro to my phone number, I'll send you all these slides. Okay, so if you text intro to 636-685-990, I'll send you all these slides. I hate it when people do presentations and you can't, keep up with it, or you can't, take pictures or something like that. But basically, the bank does a broker price opinion. That is a real estate agent paid $50 to go to the house and determine what the value is. Is that ludicrous? That's crazy, okay? Why do they do that? I don't know. I mean, we have to be quiet so the banks don't hear us, but, that's what they do, okay? Now, FHA is different. FHA requires a full appraisal. By the book, FHA guidelines. So an FHA short sale, that being the homeowner has an FHA loan, on that short sale, they do a full appraisal. So you will not make as much money on an FHA short sale. Now, I'm not saying don't do them, just saying you won't make as much money as, say, a Fannie Mae short sale, where they're doing a broker price opinion. The guy just, goes in and walks out and determines the value. Now, all this stuff, all this whole short sale ends up at the end with an approval letter that gives you 30 days to close. So this whole thing will result in, just like any title company closing, you have the bank give a payoff letter. It's just for a really small number, like $29,600. And I sold the house for $275. Okay, they twisted my arm. I agreed. They gave an approval letter, and that's the price that it has in it. But it gives you 30 days to close. And it's just like any other title company and closing, with a few other stipulations. I don't know if we'll talk about those later, but there's, like 2 or 3 pages to it, and it's going to state, what the price is, it's going to state what the commission is, it's going to state some other things. But this gives you 30 to 45 days to close, so you can actually, technically, legally, sell the house to somebody else. You've got equitable interest at this point. And matter of fact, a lot of cities, including St. Louis, has a little box in the MLS called owner by contract. Any real estate agents out here in the audience? Any real estate agents? Raise your hands. You should all raise your hands. Go and put a listing in, and look, there's an owner by contract box. You can list a home and say you're owner by contract. Okay, so so you could actually do that if you wanted to. Okay, talk about wholesaling, short sales. We don't have time about that, but you can wholesale them. Okay, now, why do we do them? Okay, why? What is the reason people are doing these? Okay, you've got an investor, you've got a bank, you've got a homeowner. Why are we doing them? So basically what's going to happen is the bank is going to foreclose if they don't get paid in full. They don't just have this little thing that says, oh, well, why don't you just pay us a little bit? That's not how it works. They've got a loan, they got a promissory note, and you have to pay the full amount, okay? They don't just tell the homeowner not to do that. They have a process called short sale, where you go to the bank and you request that to be done. The bank isn't just out of the goodness of their heart going to say, well, why don't you just pay me back a little bit? So they need to be paid in full unless you do the short sale process. The homeowner is going to have a deficiency. Almost every state, except for like Arizona, the bank will come after you for the deficiency. Now, the deficiency is how much you owe on the loan, plus all the penalties, all the interest, all the everything, minus what the bank ends up selling the house for. Okay? So the bank takes the house back, it sits around for years or whatever it does, and they eventually sell it. The difference between those two is the deficiency, and in, like, for example, Missouri, they've got 7 years to come get the money from you. Okay? So that's a pretty good reason why the homeowner wants to do a short sale. Okay? Because they don't want the deficiency. In a short sale, we will wipe the deficiency to 0. It will say that in the approval letter that they owe nothing on the house, no deficiency, and that's very important for that to, for you to be able to do that. If they go to foreclosure, it's going to hurt their credit for 7 years and 300 points. If you do a short sale, it's 50 points for 1 year. In 1 year, it's all the way back up. Okay. Even FHA will give homeowners a loan if they've done a short sale. The concept was, well, you cooperated with the bank, you helped the bank out, and stuff, and so you can actually get an FHA loan very easily, even if you've done a short sale. So there's a lot of reasons why the homeowner wants to do a short sale. There's many, many reasons, out there. I'm just, trying to go through some of them. But for you, well, back up. I'll tell you the number one reason. The number one reason that I find that homeowners will do the short sale with you isn't any of the stuff I just said. It isn't about getting a $3,000 check versus a deficiency. It's about being able to stay in the house longer. That's the number one reason. They're not ready to move yet. They need to find a place. They need to mentally grasp the concept. They need to be able to save up their money while they're in the house, okay? And so they need more time. That is the number one reason on a short sale as to why they do it and stuff like that. So, and so you know they're not making their payment when they're in the house, okay? Now, how can that be? Well, so here's how this conversation goes with the homeowner. You start a short sale with them, and they say, well, should I try to make some of my payments? Should I try to do something? I tell them, well, in a short sale, they're going to wipe all the debt out. It doesn't matter how much it is. Okay, so if it's more, next month and more the next month, it all gets wiped to zero on it. Now, I can't say to them, I probably could because I'm not a realtor, attorney, accountant, or I don't have any license, but a licensed person certainly can't say, don't make your house payment. They can't say that, and I don't say it either. But what I say to them, I say, look, okay, let's look at it this way. We know that in a short sale, all the debt's going to be wiped out, no matter how big it is. It's not relevant what the debt is in a short sale. I say to them, so let's look at this. You have a decision to make. You got so much money that comes in. What are you going to do with it? So you have a choice. Are you going to make your house payment? And so I say to them, let me ask you something. Do you have a job? Yeah. I said, do you have a car? And I said, well, I asked him, so can you drive your house to work? Like, what? Oh, I can't drive my house to work. And I said, well, can you drive your car to work? Yeah, I can drive my car to work. Great. And I said, okay. And I say, now, can you sleep in your car? Okay, you can sleep in your house. We can do that. But can you sleep in your car? And they usually go, well, yeah, one night I got drunk and I had to sleep in it. And I go, okay, so you're telling me that your car can go to work, your house can't, and you can't sleep in it. So I say, which one do you think you should make the payments on? The car or the house? And they usually decide they should continue making the car payments. So anyway, the point is that that's the number one reason is they get to stay in the house longer and save their money up to be able to start over, okay? Now for us, for investors, okay, in real estate, what is it? Location, 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 right, in real estate? Well, in short sales, it's massive profits, massive profits. It's kind of playing off. You can tell this was not done by ChatGPT. These are my own slides, right? Okay, so there's no ChatGPT in here. Someone said, maybe you should run it through ChatGPT. But anyway, so let's do a quick case study example. There's the address. I'm very open with everything. Look it all up on public records. People always like to do a little, some case studies. So we'll just try to slip a few in here on it. This was a house here in Garden Prairie. This is actually a really interesting one because it was owned by the VP, Vice President of a national bank. And they came to me to do a short sale, and I said, is that even legal? You're the bad guy. Okay, see, this was 2012. I was like, you're the banks that are robo-signing, and you're doing all the going against the homeowners. And the reason my wife and I started doing short sales was to stop the banks from stealing the homes from families. And I said, you're the bad guy, And the person said, no, it's okay. I've got an equity line of credit, not equity line. I've got a credit union loan on it. Okay, 2 credit unions. None of the loans were banks, but they're both credit unions. I'm like, oh, so you're going to screw the credit unions now, huh? And anyway, she said, so do the short sale because it's okay, because it's not a bank loan. And so anyway, now the thing was that the hardship was they had a son who had a motorcycle accident, very bad, terrible accident. I didn't have any insurance. And so the person spent their money on getting their son healthy again. Okay, really, really good reasons to do, right? And so she had a hardship. I don't work with people that are just mad at the banks or just, are trying to, put something over on them. They have to have a hardship, always, okay? And so her son, she spent all of her money, he didn't have any insurance and stuff. And then, of course, that was a pretty big house. She was divorced and it was kind of large for one person, right? You know, it was 4,000 square foot home. And so she couldn't maintain it. So she had a lot of other hardship reasons. I'm not going to spend the time to go into them, just kind of show you a little bit. So this house was sold for $370,000. It was wholetailed. What that means is there was nothing done to the house, and it was sold to a retail buyer. So we call that wholetail, combination of retail and wholesale, okay, with it. And so there's really nothing done to the house. Now, what would you have paid for this house? Now, it's got to be less than $370,000, Robbie, because you wouldn't make any money. We probably don't have time to go around and take a poll on it, but basically I paid $269,000. The purchase price was $269,300. So there was a gross profit of $100,212, okay, on that short sale. Now you're sitting there going, David, that's not very impressive on a $370,000 house. You're not impressing me. And I'm going to go, hold on a minute. If anybody in here would not love to wake up tomorrow morning with a $100,000 wire in your checking account, then you should please leave the room, because that's all I'm going to talk about the rest of this presentation. You know, if you wouldn't be happy with a $100,000 wire in your checking account, then you might as well leave, because I'm not going to be able to help you on anything else. So that's the key, is would you want to wake up with that? Now, I will tell you something. That's not why this is the case study, okay? It was a little trick, okay? Does anybody know what a Roth IRA is? You can do short sales in your IRAs. You got location, 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 and with Roth, you got tax-free forever, tax-free forever, tax-free forever. All that profit will never be taxed. They'll have little babies, and they won't be taxed either in the Roth IRA. Go out and do more real estate deals with that profit, never ever taxed. So you can do real estate in your IRAs, okay? And I know you people know that because we talk about this in the group, okay, and stuff. Now, it was a $404,000 first position credit union and a $40,000 second on that. Don't really have time to go through the specifics on that, but that's basically what the two loans were. There were some issues there with the deficiency. You need to be careful with a credit union. They will want to have the deficiency. So a lot of banks, it's very, very simple, to get the deficiency removed, but in a credit union, they won't, okay? And so you have to negotiate with that and be careful, because, well, I better stop and do this in case you go out of this room and you start doing them on your own, and I never see you again. I don't want you to be out there doing this. Do not ever do a short sale where the homeowner has a deficiency on the approval letter. Don't do it. How can my IRA make $100,000 profit and have the homeowner owe the difference? So you need to get the deficiency to say 0, and credit unions won't do that. And basically that's exactly what happened here. Now, when I met with them, I told them that I will not do the short sale if there's a deficiency. I won't do it, okay? I'll stop the foreclosure, I'll get you time in the house and everything else, but I'm not going to buy this house and make a big profit and you have a deficiency. Well, it came out and it had a deficiency. And I went to the person and I said, can't do it. I can't buy the house, there's a deficiency. And the person said, no, I want you to. Go ahead and do it anyway. I'm like, no, I gave you my word that I would not do the short sale and buy this house if you had a deficiency. And the person got mad and had their attorney write me a letter. Now that gets scary when attorneys write you letters, right? The attorney said, I don't know what the right word, commanding you or I'm demanding you to fulfill the short sale and to go through with it. And then the attorney said, we'll just file bankruptcy later. Okay, it was a concept. And I said, no. That's really dumb, say no to an attorney. I said, no, I gave my word when I started this that there would not be a deficiency. Anyway, so they weren't very happy there. And so then I went to the credit union and I said, no. And they said, what do you mean? We just issued an approval letter. And I said, yeah, but there's a deficiency on it. Take it to foreclosure. Okay, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. And I said, there's a deficiency. That's not acceptable, to the seller type thing. Anyway, so this is what I did. I said, okay, what would it take to get the deficiency removed? And the credit union said $25,000 more. So my IRA paid $25,000 more for that house. I could have made $125,000. And I tell you that story so that if you never see me again and you go out and do short sales, you will never, ever allow a deficiency, okay? Negotiate it off, do something, don't buy the house, don't make them have to do that. Here's another case study here in O'Fallon, Missouri. To the left of the picture is a subdivision going uphill. They had a big rainstorm, a flash flood, and all this water is running down the street, and the city of O'Fallon didn't have a good sewer system. And so all this flash flooding is going on, and this branch comes floating down the street and hits the basement window of this ranch house, okay? It was not a walkout basement. It was just a normal ranch. A branch hits the window, breaks the window, and you know what happens? What do you call that when you have a flash flood and the basement window breaks? What is that called? What do you call that? Anybody throw it out. What do you think it's called? You're thinking it. Swimming pool. It's a swimming pool. It's not a walkout basement. This lady's like 82 years old. She hears this crashing, rushing noise. She goes over and splash on the first step of the basement stairs. Her basement filled up with water. Okay. So now what her hardship was, what the problem was, that the insurance company said, well, you don't have flood insurance, so we're not covering it. And the bank said, well, if the insurance company isn't covering it, then you have to. So the bank was wanting her to pay to fix the house. In the meantime, it molded, okay? The neighbors stole the appliances out of the house. She was done with it. She said, I'm done. She's like 82 years old. So anyway, we stepped in and did a short sale to help her out, to prevent her from foreclosure. The bank's, threatening to come after her for the deficiency, and stuff. So anyway, this house was sold for $205,000. There's a $71,000 rehab done on it. Okay, so let me ask you, what would you pay for that house? Now, it's got to be less than 130, 205 minus 70. Okay, what would you have paid for it? Okay, well, I'll just show you. Okay, $33,900 for that house. Okay, that's a short sale. Okay, gross profit of $99,654. Okay, for that house. Now, is that a little bit more impressive? $99,000 on a $1,000 house. Okay, that's getting now a little more impressive with it and stuff. And so that was a short sale. So does that answer the question why we do them, investors? Okay, well, we're not going to go through any more. So basically, let's see here, that's the wrong slide. So this, let's look at how long it takes to do. Okay. So I needed these training videos on Zoom for my students. So I did an entire short sale in 2 months, which is very fast, okay? Normally a short sale takes about 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Now, people ask, how long does it take to do a short sale? My answer is as long as possible. The longer it takes, the more profit you make. Do not be in a hurry to do the short sale. You're not moving into the house. It's just inventory. I tell people, okay, fine. Just don't quit your day job, Wait till you get 5 or 10 short sales going in your pipeline, and then one's coming off every month for you. Then quit your job. But, there's not enough work there to do. So I did the whole thing in 2 months, and I did it all on Zoom. The whole thing was 22 hours. That's it. The whole process was 22 hours, okay? And I needed these, training videos, so I was doing it very, very quickly. There was no delay. I didn't wait. I didn't, wait 2 weeks to respond. Everything I did with the bank was an immediate response right back on it. And I could have gotten the price of the house down lower, okay? But it would have taken another like 2 weeks of calendar time and another 1 hour to dispute, but I needed the videos. So I did overpay for the house. I paid $58 for it, and I know I could have bought it for $42. Absolutely know I could have, but I would have lost more time. I wanted these Zoom videos for my students on it. Now, don't cry for me because, you know, we put $42,000 in it, which is way too much, right? You know, it's ridiculous. But made a gross profit of $118,000 on a $220,000 house. So is that why we do them there? 22 hours. You know, if you're going to hurry, you might be able to do it in 2 months, but I could have got it for a lower price with it. Now, how are we going to get them? How do we get these short sales? Let's move on now how to get them. So let's talk about marketing. Now, you heard about the chicken and the egg and the chicken crossing the street and all these other philosophical things. Okay, well, I got a philosophical thing on how to get short sales. And my thing is, you know, if a tree falls to the ground and you're not there, does it make a noise? If that tree falls to the ground, does it make a noise? And since these are my slides and my presentation, the answer is no. If a tree falls to the ground in the woods and you're not there, it didn't make a noise. So what I teach you to do is, let's go to where the homeowners are. Where are the trees at? Where are the homeowners at? Let's go out directly to the homeowner and reach out to them, okay, and stuff. And so basically that's what I teach people to do, is to go directly to those who have a foreclosure date, okay. Now, as we talked about before, in all states, all counties, all across America, they all have to be posted in the county legal newspaper. Okay, now it'll be for a certain different number of days, okay, based on your state, but let's target those people, okay? So now, you know, when you talk to them, you're going to tell them that you have a buyer for the house that's cash as is. So let's say they're doing some Googling, and they do a short sale, and they see that short sale needs to be cash as is. So you want to be able to tell them, you know, that you're buying cash as is. Now, you have a buyer, the wording is very carefully done, because you can't say that you have a buyer because you just broke state law. That's called being a real estate agent, and you don't have a license. If you're not a realtor, you can't say, I know somebody that wants to buy your house. You can't connect them. That is illegal, okay, and stuff. And so, you know, when you say you have a buyer, it's you. I am your buyer. Matter of fact, this is a cool trick I like to do with them. They get all these letters in, and it's from attorneys, and it's from real estate agents, and they all say in the letter, hey, call me right away, I can help you out, I got a buyer for your house, right? You know, now they can say it because it's legal for them, but call me, I got someone who wants your house really bad, they want to buy it. So what happens is when I talk to them, it's a little bit of a fib, okay, but just go with it. I say to the homeowner, I said, oh, yeah, you know, I'm that buyer in the letter that they were talking about. I just thought I'd call you direct, you know, we hadn't heard from you, and so I just thought I'd give you a call right. I'm that buyer that all the other letters are talking about. Oh, it's you. Yeah, I'm the guy, you know. You don't need those other letters, throw them away, you know, I'm the buyer and stuff. And so you want to do that legally, okay, because you're not a real estate agent. You're going to tell them that you're going to get some money to move. I like to say 90% of the time, but it's really like 99 or 98% of the time you get money, you know, for them to move. And you're going to get the bank paid off, the seller gets rid of the debt, and you're going to have a house. Okay, that's how we're going to get them. Now, once again, you have to have a system. Okay, so let's run through the 5 steps that we need for a system. Okay, so let's run through here real quick. Let me check my time on here. So, okay, we're not doing too great at all, but we'll make up some time here. So how do we find the seller? Okay, the simplest way is to find out where the foreclosure is at. Let's go to the online newspaper. So we talked about the county legal newspaper. Let's go to the online version of that, okay? Now, in Missouri, this is the website right here, Missouri Lawyers Media. You go to that website online, and there's different counties that you have on here with it. And then, you know, you can get like all those for like $49 a month, okay? I need to hurry up here a bit. And this is what it looks like. That's the actual website picture. Once again, you know, I'm not real good at PowerPoint, but that is, when you get onto that website that I just had on the previous page, you're gonna see that, and it can show you the quantities and the you know, where they're at. Then you're gonna click on that, and it's gonna open up this screen here, you know, where it's basically gonna let you put in this information here. So I don't know if you can see this here or not, but this is basically a trustee sale, okay? So you're gonna go in, and you're gonna choose trustee sale, because Missouri is a deed of trust state. They use a trustee with it, okay? So and so now, you know, these are, you can't relate that either, but that's a public notice. So these aren't legal notices, they're public notices. Why is that? Well, because in a foreclosure, what's the point? At the courthouse steps at this time, we're gonna cry out the legal description and people are gonna give a bid. That's a public notice. You want lots of people to show up to be able to try to pay the loan up as much as you can. So these are public notices, not legal notices. And then here for the St. Louis one, Missouri one, trustee sale. When you click on that, then it's gonna pull up this screen with some addresses down here. I usually ignore the map. And you know, everything we have around here is pretty good, you know, to buy. Maybe people might argue about, you know, North County maybe or something like that. But you know, if you want rentals, then you might even focus on it. So when you click on one of the addresses, you're gonna pull this up here. And this is gonna basically, you know, show you, you know, 4 key pieces of data that you wanna pull out of it, okay, and stuff. And so here, this is the actual, like, newspaper article. And I love this because I'll take a picture of it, text it to the homeowner, and say, yeah, really, it's happening. You know, you're in the newspaper, okay? You're popular, you know, like Steve Martin, I'm in the phone book, you know? And so I'll actually sometimes text it to the homeowner and say, hey, you really better do something here. I'm here to help you. And stuff. And so basically, you're going to be pulling out 4 key pieces of data. Now, I'll just run through them super quick. You're going to be looking for the name of the homeowner. You're going to be looking for the address of the property. You're going to be looking for the foreclosure date, and you're going to be looking for the foreclosing attorney. Okay, so that's the 4 key pieces that you get out of there. That's just the same information that you can't read because the slides are terrible, but that's what you're going to do. Now, for those in here who might be from a judicial state, this is actually Columbia, you know, South Carolina, and Richland County, okay? And so that's their website. That's where you go. They actually had like the largest delinquencies in the country back in 2023 with it. And you know, it just looks the same. It's the online newspaper, right? It's really easy here, okay? In that, you know, public notices, you're gonna choose the master sales, because you know the state they call them master sales, and it's the same 4 key pieces. I'm going to fly through that. Hey, we come back to Carl. Okay, so remember I said, Carl, why did you wholesale it? You're a rehabber. Good grief, what's the deal? And so he kind of got his mojo back in, and so he rehabbed this house, and you can see the numbers there. Bought it for 82, rehabbed it for 75, sold it for 302. Quote, gross profit of 145. But I'm going to play his little audio there, and I want you to listen very carefully, because I want you to listen to what the numbers were then. The video is when he bought the house. The picture is when he sold the house, and the numbers are different. I want you to listen to what he thought was going to happen when he bought it, okay?
Hello, this is David Randolph, and I'm here with Carl. And we're at the title company. We're kind of pretty excited today. Carl just closed on the purchase of his 3rd short sale. So I'm gonna let Carl just kind of tell you about what some of the numbers are and how that is for us today.
Thanks, David. So we're at Continental Title here in St. Louis, Missouri. We just closed on a house for $82,500. The ARV on this house is near $250,000. We're expecting to put about $60,000 into it. Through David's one-on-one coaching program, I was able to work with the bank and secure a short sale. The bank was looking for significantly more than $82,500. We were able to get the homeowner out of the house as they wanted to do, and it was basically all due to David's one-on-one coaching, working me through all the way through all the processes of making this happen.
Okay, so he thought
that
was, he's just saying nice things about
Exciting
me.
day. Thank you very much.
He thought he'd pay $60,000, or sorry, put $60,000 in the rehab, so it's most contractors, it's never what you think it is, so he put 75 in it, but he thought he was gonna sell it for 250, and he sold it for 302. Now, there was a reason for it. If you live in St. Charles County, at that time, no split level had ever sold over 250, right? And so he listed it for 250, and it sold for 302. So that's some really cool things. He got his mojo back, he's back to rehabbing. I think this is his third one here, actually. With it. So anyway, moving on. What do we mail to the seller so they call you, okay? So I believe in direct mail marketing. It's like as old as death and taxes, okay? You know, you can pay somebody to do it. You know, you can hire a VA. You can, you know, it's real easy to do direct mail marketing. SEO and bandit signs, and gosh, I don't want to be run over by a car when I'm putting out a bandit sign, but an SEO or SOE, is that SEO? I don't even know how to spell it, you know, it's a computer. Yeah, okay, so I like direct mail marketing, so that's what I teach. Okay, now this is not mass marketing. This isn't some YouTube guru, $10,000 a month wholesaling company, free course type thing, okay? This is like, me, I'm mailing to like 50 people a month. You know, 30, 40, 50 people a month. That's all I mail to, okay, in St. Charles County. Now, what to mail to them? You do need multiple letters, okay? Not just one letter. Don't just one letter and it doesn't work. You gotta have these multiple touches. You need to have a voice phone call. You need to have a text to them. Okay, now texting gets a little tricky. We don't have time to talk about the TCPA laws, but you have to have a minimum of 5 touches with them, okay? And so you want to talk about the options that they have. Now here's a little trick, in case you go off and do this on your own, and I never see you again, don't tell them the options in the letter. Okay, we'll just try them on their own. Okay, don't tell them what their options are. Make them call you. Okay, and so here's Arnie. You know, he just did you know, mailings to people on his very first house. He puts this on Facebook. And he, you know, wholesaled it and made a gross profit of $40K. And I went to Arnie and I said, Arnie, what are you doing? Get that off of Facebook. That's embarrassing. Why did you settle for $40K? He's like, Dave, it's $40K and I didn't do anything in the house. But Arnie, you know that we can make more than that. Anyway, I got him mad at me, okay, which is not unusual, okay, at all, because I say what I say. And so anyway, just to, you know, piss me off, I guess, he went last year and did 12 more, all over 40,000, you know, wholesales, okay, just with letters, mailing, okay? So let's move along here. What do you say to the seller, okay? So you mail to them, they call you, what do you say to them? Okay, well look, scripts don't work. Have you ever seen on YouTube all these educator, guru people that don't do real estate at all? I'm the opposite, by the way. I'm a real estate investor struggling to be an educator, okay? I know how to do it, and I struggle to teach you. But these people on YouTube give away all these scripts, right? Well, there's a reason. Scripts are garbage. They don't work. They don't. I mean, think about it. What happens is you need to have the knowledge in your head. You can't have a script and go to the home and wait, you know, I'm on page 1, you just jumped to page 7, please go back, okay? You can't, it doesn't work that way. You gotta have the head knowledge, okay, and stuff. And so you need to know things like in Missouri, they've got 7 years to come get the money from you, okay? You gotta know about the foreclosure and how it hurts them. So you have to have this as head knowledge, so when you're talking to them, that you can be able to explain it to them. Don't try to follow some script, you know, with them. You do need to let them know that they're not going to net as much as what they think they have, the house. Well, I'll just list the house. Okay, well, but you do know you only get about 90% of it. Educate them, let them know that. A lot of people don't realize that. And absolutely let them know you intend to make profit. They need to know why you're doing this. Look, they will never pay you money. You'll never accept any money from them, okay? You're going to help them out. And if they say do a loan modification and go off happily ever after, it's great. You get nothing, okay? If it becomes a short sale, then that's great. You're going to buy the house, but let them know your motive. Why are you doing this? That you intend to make a profit. I tell them this, and my wife hates this, okay? I say to the homeowner, I say, look, I'm really hoping to buy your house, you know, with the bank's approval for $1, okay? And then I want to really fix it up really nice, put a lot in it, and I want to sell your house for $1 million, okay? Now, if that's not okay with you, then that's fine. I can go ahead and leave, and you can go to foreclosure next Tuesday. And I kind of walk out and they go, wait, come back. You know what? I don't care if you're going to make money. yeah, I don't want to go to foreclosure. So let them know that you intend to make a profit. Let them know, disclose why you're doing this, okay, with it, and don't ever take money from them, okay. So Dan and Carrie, so here's another house, somebody besides, Carl and stuff. I actually got students in 13 states now, but Dan and Carrie, they wholesaled a house, bought it for 68, sold it for 168, gross profit there of 100K. And the reason I show that is not because of it, but is because of the house is at the split level, right? So they wholesaled it, paid 100,000. The rehabber bought for 168, put about 100,000 in it, quite a bit in it, and had like 268 in it. And they sold it for 378. The rehabber did. Yeah, the split level that Carl did at 302, now, okay, was selling for 378. Not the same split level, but a split level is now selling for 378 on it. And they're a little bit heartbroken too, because, see, I did that thing about, would you like to wake up the $100,000 wire in your checking account? And they said yes, and so they thought that was great. But then they saw that they could have made 200,000 or more if they would have kept it. But that's all right. That's the way it goes. So anyway, when you're talking to the homeowner, here's how you'll always win with the homeowner. No matter what they say, but the house down the street sold for $1 million, and but this, and all these arguments they can have with you, you win it in the end. You say, ma'am, sir, all that is really fine and great. We can argue about it all night long, but if I don't help you stop the foreclosure, it's all irrelevant. The house, the banks. So would you please just let me help you? Will you let me talk to the bank? Will you let me do a short sale? Will you let me stop the foreclosure? Let me do something. That's how you always win, because they have a foreclosure date. Partial summary, you can make a lot of money doing short sales. You can help families out of a crisis. There's no, here's another one. There's no competition with other buyers or the seller. There are no other buyers on a short sale. I'm going to repeat that. There are no other buyers on a short sale. And I don't have time to explain all that tonight, okay? And so once again, there's like 40 in St. Charles County, 300 in St. Louis County, in St. Louis. That's the document you need to do. I've been talking about. Let's get back to Dan and Carrie real quick. So they are rehabbers, and so the next house, they rehabbed it. Once again, they only made $100,000, but look, they made $100,000 profit, gross profit on a $153,000 house. Is that impressive? Okay, that's them, not me. I like when they do better than me. Here's Christian Stone. I show this one because remember I talked about FHA? This was an FHA short sale. He wholesaled it, bought it for 80 and sold it for 180. Made a gross profit of 100 on FHA. Yeah, believe it or not. There's the address, guys. Go look it up. Everything's fully disclosed, okay? Go look it up. Man, we got to fly through here. What do you say to the bank to stop the foreclosure? So that form that I showed you real quickly, an authorization form, that's the one form you need to do everything I'm talking about, okay? And so when you get that form from them, you're going to call the bank, and you're going to get their email address and send it in. Now it's going to take 1 or 2 days for them to process it, but at that point you can now talk to the bank, okay? And you always want to have them expedite it. Now, documents. You're going to send in bank documents, realtor documents, and negotiation documents. Okay, I don't have time to explain what those are, but it's 3 packets. Always send them into the bank at the same time. If you just send in the bank documents, then they're going to send out a realtor, and that's not what you want. You have a realtor on your team, okay? And then always, location. Always ask. This is why real estate agents hate short sales, okay? You need to ask for the supervisor. If the person on the phone doesn't have the authority to make the decision, ask for the supervisor. Very key. And this, expedite. Everything you do is a squeaky wheel. Just say it. Be on the phone with the bank and go, expedite. And you'll hear these keyboard clickings. There's some on their screen that makes them type in something because you said expedite on it. So we got to hurry up here. Maximum profit, okay? How do you negotiate with the bank? Okay, so there's a crucial thing. I've lost 5 short sales personally over 15 years, all because I did not meet the appraiser at the house. You must meet the appraiser at the house, okay? And one of them, the appraiser showed up the day early and the homeowner let them in the house. I'm like, you just let strangers in your house? What'd you let them in for? And so the appraiser walks in and walks out and says the house is worth $2 million and I can't stop that. I can't stop the foreclosure in time because they did an appraisal and that was the price that they did in the house. So you must be there, you must give them a package. I don't have time to go through that here. And you want to use comps and a repair estimate, not a rehab cost. All your rehabbers just swish your mind clean. So I've got this private Facebook group, membership group, 100 people in it, and I got this thing out there with them. I say, if any of you ever turn into the bank a repair estimate with granite on it, I'm kicking you out of the group. Granite's not a repair, it's a rehab, okay? You don't give the bank a rehab scope and a rehab cost. It's repairs you're turning into the bank, okay? Anyway, so then you go through that process with the bank. You're going to get an approval letter from the bank, and so it's going to have no deficiency, no promissory note, 30 days to close. It will be shown as reported as paid in full at reduced amount. That's what you want. There's a lot of other things you need to have in there, okay? But you got to have this approval letter, make sure everything is good to go for the closing. Now, in summary, okay, as we kind of start to wrap it up here. Remember, a foreclosure is a failed short sale. So I was on the Investor Addicts cruise, and that slide, they said we don't have a prize for best slide, but if we did, that would have won best slide prize on it. Remember, a foreclosure is a failed short sale. We should not see any foreclosures anywhere in St. Louis, okay? If you're doing your job, you're all stepping in and helping families do a short sale, there should be no foreclosures, okay? There's my contact info there on it, so you can take a slide, or just text intro and get all the slides. And you can scan it there and get all the slides, or go to the davidrandolph.com/intro and get a copy of all these slides. Hopefully that QR code works, kind of thing. And you can get a free video on 20 case studies. I only had time to go through 2. I got a video of 20 case studies that are better than the ones that I talked about here. And so people love that, so you can scan that, or text intro to 636-685-2990. And I do every month a free 2-hour Zoom live workshop, every month, okay? And then you can get those 20 case studies and the slides. So if you do that QR code, you can get on that free workshop, where we have a lot more time and can teach you a little bit better on it. Now, even better than that, okay? Even better than that, I give away stuff all the time. So if you want my sheet of paper with 10 myths, you guys held in pretty good. No one left with what I said. Why don't you get the sheet with 10 myths that are dead wrong, okay? And stuff like, there are no other buyers, and the seller doesn't care about the price of the house. So if you text the word master, okay, I occasionally do a master class, okay? Would you like that one document I talked about in Microsoft Word form? Okay, so if you text master to the same phone number, you'll get this one crucial document for free, okay? So this is a master class that is 3 days, 2 hours a day, okay? And I do a couple of them a year, and so you can get in there and get on that. You can get on the 2-hour free workshop, that's monthly. So you're busy this month, Christmas comes, remember, go to intro, text intro, and get in on the next 2-hour workshop. But the master class is 3 days, 2 hours a day, and we go into a lot of detail. I show you how to use that authorization form. Probably shouldn't give it to you like that, because it's like giving you a loaded gun, but just promise me that you won't take the authorization to go off on your own, show up for the free master class and learn how to use it and how to fill it out in there. And then once again, text LEND to 636-685-2990 if you want that lending document. Doesn't have anything to do with short sales. I've been lending for 11 years all across the country. So there's a good QR code thing, a little dinosaur in there. So you get, so you can't make the session. The recordings are put out at, right in the evening every single day. So if you can't make all 3 days, we have access to the recordings. The 10 myths, the free training, you get that same case studies. You get a 100 page slide with it in the actual form. So text master to 636-685-2990. Now, there is one coming up October 23rd through 25th, okay, for the master class. So you might want to just jump straight to that, okay? October 23rd through 25th. Very fortunate timing, right, for everybody. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till next year for that. So anyway, that's my contact information. There's a QR code thing again. It should take you to the website on there. So anyway, guys, I want to say thank you. That's the last slide. We'll open up to any questions. We don't have hardly any time for questions.
Who wants to start out with a question for Dave?
So how do you really determine your offer, right? I guess, do you make an offer to the bank, or is it just back and forth, they say 100, you say 80, then just kind of keep working your way down, or do you actually come up with an offer from like 30% of ARV, or kind of where do you go with that?
Yeah, great question. How do you determine what you're going to offer to the bank? So in that, you remember that online education portal I said I have? Here's the general rule. I'll just go ahead and give it to you right here, right now. You know what ARV is, right? And repair cost is, and MAO, maximum allowable offer. That's the ARV times 0.7 minus the repairs. So that's a maximum allowable offer that any investor in here every single day would buy houses all day long on it. So in short sales, though, that's not what we do. We can do that calculation, and then I want you to cut it in half. Yes, cut in half. Now, if you don't laugh, cut it in half again. And that's what you give to the bank. That's how you do it. Great question. You got one in the back over there?
Hi, I was wondering if you sell the, darn it, I just forgot, the appraisal package on its own by any chance? Like how to work with the appraiser when you meet them at the house?
Yeah, right. So the question is sort of roundabout, what do you give to the appraiser? What do you do at the house? Okay, so in all the short sales I've done, I've only had one appraiser get mad at me. Every one of them has said, thank you very much for this. How am I supposed to figure out what the repairs are and what the repair costs are? Okay, and so you want to give them sold comps, you want to give them the repair estimate, and they love you for it, okay? Because you're helping them out, make their job easier with it. So yeah, you want to give that to them. And it's really interesting too, by the way, just in case someone says, well, you can't be at the house. You can't be, that's illegal, you can't be. About 3 years ago, I actually found it in the Fannie Mae code that says, I'm required to be at the house. Yes, it's actually in the code. I mean, I was always at the house anyway for 15 years, but 3 years ago, I found it in the, 400 pages in the FHA guidelines that I'm required to be at the house and stuff. So great question. Any other questions?
When you go through with the short sale process at the end, do you get a clear title, or is it blemished?
So the question is, when you go through the short sale, you come to closing, do you have clear title? Absolutely, yes. The approval letter has all these conditions that state what gives clear title, so that the title company is providing you, as the new buyer, full title insurance, warranty deed, not special warranty deed, full warranty deed, and you got a completely clear title on the house. Great question. Any other questions? Don't be bashful. And of course, if you come to the master class, you can, ask more questions, but.
I think you answered a lot of questions, and you gave us the place to get all your slides and more information yet, so.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, David.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
David,
Appreciate it.